Good headshot.
I'd like to say I did.
Derek Chauvin.
I hate it when they fucking they make their own intros and then they put the intros on. Instead of manually doing it. So remove intro, remove outro. All right, we're here for the first installment of the Human Performance Live, where Phil's going to essentially every Tuesday. I don't want to speak for you, Phil, but you're gonna jump on here and talk things human performance company based, human performance as an idea, and then TRT. And we're here to answer any questions that people may have for the company Human Performance TRT. So, Phil, you want to introduce you? A lot of people know who you are, but just so anybody who doesn't know who Phil is.
Well, pretty much if you called the phone number, you talk to me. So here's the face to the name and the voice.
I think this is the first time I've seen your face, to be honest with you.
Yeah, probably.
So, yeah, we're just waiting on some comments. Somebody said here for Taylor. I don't know if that means Taylor Kavanaugh or what, but that's one of the guests that, we're going to try to have. We're going to try to have some heavy hitters on here, like Taylor, Jimmy, all them. But also, we're going to be filling it with, regular guys like me and you that just take TRT to feel better.
Yeah.
And, the benefits to being on TRT. And then, it's no surprise Human Performance had a couple issues back when it got affiliated with Antihero Podcast. So, not to bore people with the details of the business, but hold on, I can hear myself. Am I on your phone or on your computer?
I think on my computer.
Oh, don't worry about it. It's not that bad. But yeah, I mean, Human Performance TRT, back when we got affiliated with it, an Antihero Podcast was an efficient machine and it ran great. And then something happened. My shit got all jammed up. Everybody's logistics kind of got all fucked up. Do you want to talk about any of that or?
Yeah. So everybody's got messed up to include mine. It came down to inefficiencies, and I don't want to go too deep into it right now. But we just had on the backside, we were having issues with people being overworked and not enough people with the volume that we were bringing.
Okay. All right. I like your lawyery answer there. I'll take it. And I'll be the unofficial spokesperson that it was run by fucking idiots, and those people are not there anymore. And it had to be I don't want to say taken over by, but the responsibilities of Human Performance TRT had to find new hands. And so everybody now that's running it is people that were involved with it, but weren't running it. Now the right people are running it, and we're not going to get into any names, I promise. But the previous owner was a fucking retard, and I'm just going to keep it at that. And that's my opinion. So, I thought he was a good dude, and I thought he wasn't going to make some of the decisions he made, whether they were on purpose or he's incompetent. I don't know, but got a couple comments here. Michael Hendricks, Taylor Girth, maybe. Got a couple comments here. Been on TRT for a year. It saved my life and my marriage. I'm not Jasmine, by the way. Jasmine. I'm assuming that's probably her husband. But yeah,
well, I hope.
I've been on TRT for 4 years now, I think, and it's been a fucking game changer for me. I say all the time, it's the most unmeasurable, greatest thing I've ever done. I can't really, I've just now recently in the last 2 months been trying to put on size and cut down on fat. I really never cared about that, but I mean, just the benefits of being optimal with your testosterone levels. Like I started 4 businesses now in 4 years. All are profitable. Most are doing really well. Some of them are still at the elementary phase, but I changed my life around. I became a better husband and dad. What about you? Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Oh yeah. How did it affect you?
Me personally? So my journey for testosterone actually came from a doctor in Phoenix that his name is Dr. Greg Bodie, and I'd had a whole bunch of surgeries. My body was busted up, and he put me in touch with testosterone through his clinic. And I didn't really take it too seriously for a while. Always tired, whatever. So I moved into getting a little bit more serious about it. And when I finally got my numbers dialed in and I started feeling better, it's mind blowing that you feel that good once your body is working the way it's supposed to. And then, you add surgeries and recoveries and all this other stuff that goes on. And I felt so much better after. I'm 47, 15 surgeries in 20 years, and I feel almost better than I did at 25.
Holy shit, that's a lot of fun. All right, so Michael Hendricks is back with, I really need to get tested for TRT and heroes. And then he said, herpes, nice try YouTube. Yeah, listen. Oh, I almost want to say don't go get tested, because your numbers, when I say 800 to 1,000 is where you want to be, and you go, oh, I feel pretty good, I'm going to go check it out. And you're like down in the 300s, the 200s. Some of people are in the double digits. Like you think, because Brent says it best, you're just so used to the gradual decline that you don't notice. It's not like one day you wake up with low tests. Like you just get used to it. And the type of men that we are, we're just like, oh, that's just life, man. Back hurts when you're getting old. You wake up, you work, you die. That mindset. So,
and that's what we grew up hearing too. Like all of the old timers are like, oh, it's just old age. But 40 years ago, 60-year-old men, 70-year-old men were at like 800.
Yeah. And it's declining rapidly. That's another great topic, by the way. Once we get, if we get any more time today, or the next episode, is the gradual decline of masculine or testosterone throughout the generations. But yeah, if you haven't gotten tested, I would just go next time you go to your doctor, whether it be your annual checkup or you just go in there and pay a copay, be like, yo, I need to get my levels checked. I want my test in there. And the doctor's going to go, oh, good. Here we go. And go to Quest or go to LabCorp and get them done, and you'll be fucking blown away. I'm telling you, I've only met one dude who I used to work with who's just fucking naturally gifted with huge tests. But
so I was at 1,200 at 25.
Naturally?
Yep, naturally.
Oh, yeah. I don't know what I was. I didn't test myself until my mid-30s. CRT patient here in Canada. I highly recommend it. After a certain age, you guys rock and have become one of my top go-to podcasts. Thanks, man. That's awesome. I appreciate it. Yeah, I mean, get with Phil here, and we'll put up some information to get in contact with Phil. I guarantee you, I mean, this is my pitch. I guarantee you HPTRT can beat the TRT that you're on, but we'll save that for another conversation. Reagan says that rhymes with Maubert.
What's up, Reagan?
Michael Hendricks. I'm 42 going on 70, fat, and can't get unfat with any diets or workouts anymore. Michael, I see you're in here, but are you on? I really need to get, if you're 42 and you're fat and you're working out and it's not seeing it, that's where the TRT comes in. The TRT, the high testosterone, helps you does what, like, how am I trying to say this, Phil? Like
so it basically helps your body to recover, 1, 2, and if you're recovering, you can work harder, obviously. But it also helps with that stubborn body fat because you have more energy. When you don't have energy, you gain weight because you're not doing shit, or you don't feel like doing shit.
Yeah. And also, I mean, if you got the money, HPTRT has tons of other things to add to your test. The TRT, the testosterone is what you need. Everything else is kind of like a supplement to help you here and there for different things. But the TRT is what you like to get to work every day. You need a car. The TRT is your car. If you want to put a spoiler on it, if you want to put a bigger engine in it, sure, you can get, the NAD plus and the glutathione and all that stuff. But the testosterone is where it's at. So yeah, definitely get your stuff checked, dude. Jasmine said it's a burner account. My doctor laughed when he read my results. He said he was surprised I still had testicles. My test level was at 27 when I first started. God, dude. Mine was at 417. And they were like, my primary care doctor was like, you're good. And I'm like, no, I'm not. I want to be optimal. Like, I'm a cop. Like,
mine was at 217 or 268. I'm sorry.
Yeah. I mean,
but my free testosterone was 16.
See, I don't know. He must be talking about 27's low, man. That must be his free testosterone.
No, there's guys that have that low testosterone, overall testosterone.
Not Jasmine, whatever your real name is. You need to get with us.
But in the grand scheme of things, what most people don't understand is your overall testosterone doesn't really matter in the grand scheme of things. Thank you. Your free testosterone is what you're actively making. And if you have low both, you're just going to be a mess.
Jasmine, back again. I'm cruising at 900 to 975. That is perfect.
Yeah, I'm about at 1100.
Yeah. I was at 8 when I checked last time, but that was because I was actually just under 8. But it was when you shoot testosterone, it used to be common practice to do once a week, and I still do. Just because it's easier, but I got my blood work done 6 days after I injected. So your blood, your injection day, you're high, and then throughout the week, it's gonna go away, and your last day is gonna be a little bit lower numbers. So that's what I got tested on.
Yeah, absolutely.
Also ask about estrogen inhibitors to go along with it. Yes. I take Clomid. Clomid's a little bit more expensive, I believe. Correct me if I'm wrong.
Yeah, you're right.
But Clomid isn't a guarantee, but there's a lot of rumors, which again, another great topic. We talk about childbirth and being able to get your old lady pregnant when you're on testosterone. The Clomid out of the estrogen inhibitors is the best one. I think it was made for women, but it decreases your chances the least amount in having some kind of infertility issues. But if you're trying to have kids, any doctor will tell you to get off testosterone. I don't know the science behind it. Do you know the science behind it?
So I do have some experience with this because my wife and I did. There. Sorry, I'm trying to get this stupid thing to work.
This is Phil's first day on a podcast, literally.
Yeah. Fuck it. So we did the IVF thing. We did all the fun stuff, and the doctors wanted me to come off testosterone and all that good stuff. So I don't necessarily think that it helped. The moving away from Phoenix, Arizona helped a lot.
What?
Less stress helped a lot.
Moving helped? Have a kid?
Well, we moved away from Arizona where we were stressed all the time.
Oh, yeah, I guess so.
So we lived 15 minutes from my wife's office. It took her 2 hours to get there and 3 hours to get home.
Holy shit, it's that bad, huh?
Yeah, it's horrible.
I love the desert. I would live in the desert if I could.
That's not very smart.
Jasmine says I got those two. Oh yeah, estrogen inhibitors. All this food and medicine we take is killing our tests. Another great broad topic is that what is in our food is fucking awful. And you know what? I don't.
Glutathione will help with that.
Yeah. And it pulls that shit out, right?
Yep. I've been on that for about 4 months now.
Glutathione.
Yep.
They say take it every day.
Yep.
But it is hard to inject yourself every day. So I think me and you were talking, and it's common practice to inject 1 milliliter based on your prescription.
Right.
Generally, a lot of guys in our age range is about 1 milliliter, and it was per day. And we were talking that me and you don't do this. Ask a doctor, but me and Phil take 1 milliliter every 2 days.
So I take 1 ml every day.
Every day?
Yep. And that's actually prescribed from the doctor for me. But I also take like 20 injections a week. So,
man, you're just in the bathroom fucking pumping yourself, huh?
Yeah. But the crazy thing is I'm in the talks with a company for needleless injectors.
I was going to ask you about that. How's that going?
Good. He's sending me one out. Comfort Inn. The owner is an amazing dude. I talked to him the other night, and then last night actually, and we'll see. Once I get it and I use it a few times, I'll bring it on here and let everybody see it.
You'll break the fucking internet, because I was just talking to my buddy the other day. You know how many people don't like needles?
Yeah, I was actually talking to Andy about that. I was like, do you know how many tier 1 guys hate needles? It's amazing how many guys that were in the military all the way up to the tier 1 elements despise needles. They'll do it if they have to, but they do not like them.
Benjamin Locke said, what's the best multiplier to use on top of TRT that you guys supply? I know I use glutathione for exactly what we just talked about. I use NAD plus. I use what's the pill? It's a pill I take every day. Fuck, what is that called? I have my stack that I do routinely all week. But it's NAD plus glutathione. I have to get back with you on the other one.
Is that the clonopine?
Yeah. And then I put in an order for Anavar. So that's for, I'm getting like shin splints in my forearms from lifting, and Anavar is good for your bones. So,
yep. Well, and everything is good for you in moderation. We're not trying to get guys to the Arnold Classic, and if that's what you're looking for, we are not the people. But to answer Ben's question, I'm on tests, Samorlin, NAD plus, glutathione.
Is your Samorlin in a pill form?
No, everything I take is injections.
God, what the fuck do I take that's a pill? I look like a fucking idiot right now.
Yeah, I know the absorption rate that you get from injections versus taking it in a pill, and the science is there to prove to you that testosterone cannot be absorbed through your stomach because your stomach will actually kill it.
Okay. Big Country Briar, if you start TRT, does it crash your natural T, so it's something you take forever? How do you take it? I disagree with that, and I only know that because I've seen guys get off it and they go right back to the levels where they were when they started TRT. So they do go down, but they go down to what they were low already. What about you, Phil?
Yeah. So, no, they do not crash your T levels. If you're using a therapeutic dose of testosterone, if you're one of these clowns that goes out and you're, injecting 3, 4 to 6 mLs a week of testosterone, you're going to kill it and it's not coming back.
Yeah. It's like, and people that take steroids, I mean, it is what it is. Like, I mean, you're crushing your hormonal system, like that whole, everything that is your body does. Like TRT's essentially a supplement. Like it is not steroids. Obviously we all know that, but just because you inject vitamin B or vitamin D, anything you take, you inject, you get better results. So
better absorption too.
Candid Duality, is there any updates for when the invoices will be fixed and we can get back to getting service? That's a Phil question.
Yes. Duality. This week we finally got everything figured out. I don't know if you guys know that the guys that haven't talked to me, but we had a disagreement with Square. They wanted to tell us how we should have things on our website, and we told them to kick rocks with flip-flops, and they didn't like that. Hindsight, that might not have been the best decision on my part, but whatever.
What,
We fixed
they had
it.
a problem with what HPTRT sells?
Yeah, so they didn't like the cover picture. They didn't
Of
like
what?
the picture of
A dude?
Brent.
A Brent?
Yeah, sitting in a helicopter with an American flag behind him. They didn't like the picture of Taylor with no shirt on. They didn't like the fact that we
They didn't like
sold
the picture of me
flag.
with my huge jack muscles.
Well, you haven't
Man.
sent me one of those yet. So yeah. So they just didn't like it. They said that was too high risk for them. So we departed them, and I've been working on this for a couple of weeks now, trying to get it straightened out. So
You got it?
yep, it should be this week. They should be going out. And everybody should be good to go.
All right. So you heard it. You heard it from the man himself. You are going to get invoiced. I got my shit finally back on track. I know, but it just because I did. I know there was people that got their shit back on track before I did, and I know I got my shit back on track before other people. There's just it was a, I don't want to say it was a catastrophic fuck up, but it definitely was something that took a minute to unfuck. And unfortunately, a lot of people had to wait, but that issue is over. Now it's playing catch up. So I had to wait. Phil had to wait. And I just got my stuff back. And you know, like anything else, as business, dude, I get it. Sometimes you're going to have issues when you order DoorDash. Sometimes I forget your fries. Not comparing DoorDash and fries to testosterone and HPTTR. I'm just
Why
saying
not?
There's
We can deliver fries.
There's human error in anything. One of my orders got messed up. I immediately hit up the portal and they shipped me what I needed. They didn't ask any questions. They didn't make me prove anything. So it happens. But how arms, Rick? I've got labs set up at the VA. I'll be talking to you soon. I have a feeling. Yeah, man. Again, dude, it is so fucking simple to upload your labs, dude. Screenshots from your phone. As long as you have those labs on, you can access them. Screenshots. You go to the portal and you just hit, like, look, I pulled mine up. At the top, well, you can't see anything private.
At the very bottom.
Yeah, you can't see anything private, but right there you can see where I uploaded images, and it was super easy. Anthony Rojas. This is great. This is much appreciated and needed. So thanks, guys. Yeah, man, we'll be doing it every Tuesday. This isn't to be confused with the dose adjustment. Those guys go way into health and performance. This is going to be strictly TRT and strictly anything that Human Performance, because they're the network sponsors, strictly anything that they do and supply. But another great show on the network of Counterculture, which this is on, is The Dose Adjustment, and that's run by Chris Heisenhauer. I can't say his fucking Hitler sounding last name, but he was a special forces medic turned PA, and his co-host is a pharmaceutical owner who owns a bunch of pharmacies. So they get together and they talk everything under the sun. So episode 2 is dropping Thursday. So again, these are two different things. This is a live, more guest engagement. Theirs is pre-recorded and covers a lot of general topics of men's health. Anthony, TRT is the tip of the iceberg. Don't forget training with Heroic Industries. Fucking self plug. I love it.
What a plug.
I meant you, Mr. Girth, when I said I was here for Taylor. That's why I was telling Phil that a lot of people, they mess up our names on Antihero like it's a running joke, and I was like, I think he could mean Taylor like Tyler. Once you get on it, yes, it will take over a little bit of your natural production, but since you are in decline after a certain age, it's not really detrimental. And he's absolutely right.
Yep.
Worst thing you got to worry about is going back to what you were feeling. Right?
Yeah.
It's not going to get any worse. So, outside of Judgment Day and the end of the world and the shutdown of society, you're always going to be able to have TRT. In fact, with companies like Human Performance, it's at your fucking door. You don't. It used to, when I started, it was a rigmarole. Going to a doctor, like, oh, those doctors that just let you have anything. Like, no, they're optimal doctors, fit dudes that are young. They're like, fuck all this, what we know about testosterone. You guys start needing at like 26. Some dudes need it at 24, 25. So once you peak and you are not optimal anymore and you start to decline is when they say, even if we got to give you a minimal adjustment, they still want you to start. Worst case scenario, you just go back to what you started.
And it's getting younger and younger. It's around 30 now.
Jerry Worms, can it help with repairing damaged nerves? I have 2 neck surgeries for herniated discs, and the nerves that control my arm and shoulder are damaged. I'm gonna let you answer that, Phil.
So, ironically enough, I have the L5 nerve running down my right leg. When the L5
I call that my penis.
What? When the disc exploded, it almost severed the nerve.
Oh shit!
I have noticed a ton of difference since I got my numbers dialed in right, but I'm also on some Morlin and a bunch of other stuff that actually helps repair. Getting good sleep helped repair. So I am not a doctor. I cannot tell you that it's going to do that, and I don't think a doctor would tell you that either. I think that it would be advantageous for you to check it out and at least get your numbers checked and see if they're low. And if they're low and then you just start feeling better, which then causes you to get in better shape, that might help.
You know who Jerry is, right?
No.
Jerry's he's always on Counterculture in the chats. He was on the first original Cops.
Oh, okay.
Stop or I'll shoot you in the back. He's a legend. Jasmine, I have blood work as proof. I believe you, dude. Guys on the ground. VA just did my lab results. 386. Is that low? Yeah, that's fucking low, dude.
What's your overall?
How's your vagina?
That's your overall. What's
feel,
your
Kevin?
free? 386 is your overall. What's your free?
386 is still pretty low for overall.
Yeah, it is.
Let's look at it this way. Why be a C student when you can make A student get back to where you were when the late teens? Yeah. I mean, that's a great nip slip. Yeah. Y'all know I like these fucking muscle shirts. I'm terrible with the nip slips. I'm sorry. I know no one wants to see that. I'm waking up with morning wood now and it's amazing. I feel like I'm 16 again.
Yep.
You can tell. I mean, my poor wife, like, this isn't a sexual story at all. My wife's actually laid up in bed. She's laid up in bed. She's been in the hospital for fucking 3 nights. So I broke away to come do this. I got to go back, for the night. But she sometimes I'm like, babe, I need a shirt. I can't get up. Like, I can't go out in the living room with all the kids. Yeah, this shit's a real thing.
Well, Mama Hoover, we hope you feel better.
Yeah, get better, babe. Candy Duality started with HPTRD back in March, and it was great until whatever happened with the billing a couple of weeks ago. Wanted to see if it's been fixed so I can get back to getting help.
Yeah, so you shouldn't. You should still be getting helped. Shoot me a message, an email, or give me a call. We'll get you dialed.
Hey, Phil, can I put your contact info in the video description?
Yeah, man.
Okay. All right. I'm going to do that. I can't do it right now because we're live, but I will do that once we end. Sorry, I'm asking so many questions. I've heard the Clomid is pretty bad for though.
It can be, but
because
it's bad. Used to treat cancer. You have to. Everything is in incremental dosages. We're not giving you anything that's gonna. You're not getting Clomid for a cancer patient. When my wife was doing IVF, she had to take Clomid. There's a whole list of things. It's kind of like the ivermectin thing. It's a horse dewormer. Yeah, they've used it for that, but there's other usages for different medications.
Yeah, I mean,
that's my opinion.
I'm still kicking. I know that doesn't mean anything, but hell yeah, Jasmine. One of the first things I noticed, woke up, looked down, and thought it was circus had come to town. Just to let all you guys know, Jasmine is not a girl. So
you had to look down to realize the circus had come to town.
Been about 17 days since I was able to pay for a subscription. Yeah, that the crazy thing is the billing. that was like the hardest thing, and that's us not charged. Like, no one got charged any money. So that was actually a burden on an HPTRT more than anybody. But I get it. People, I would never want to be hit with a fucking double, triple bill 1 month because you're not financially prepared for it. So I understand it.
Just reach out to me.
Yeah. Reach out to Phil. Can you say something in Canadian? Shut fucking guys.
Okay.
My docs recommended 1/3 cc 3 times a week, but I switched to 1 cc per week. No worries.
That's one way to do it.
Yeah, is that testosterone he's talking about?
That's what it's.
I don't know. Dude, injecting. God, man. Yes, if you can inject, the more the merrier, right? I've never heard of 3 times a week for test. I've heard of twice a week, in which I'm going to switch to because I heard, it's more injections, it's more syringes, it's more time in the bathroom. But Phil's a testament to it's worth your time.
So if you're on 1 cc, like me personally, I'm on 1 cc a week, which is 200 milliliters of testosterone, right? I do Monday 0.5 and I do Thursday 0.5. That way there's no peaks and valleys. You go up and then you just kind of plateau out and you just hover right there. So you're always feeling good. Yes, heroic. We have several. Depends on what you're looking for. Reach out.
Yeah. That's he's one of the podcasts on Counterculture Network.
Right.
Yeah, I take 1 cc and take 0.5 twice a week. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, that's what I'm going to be doing. Again, I'm going to say this, and when we create an intro, we are going to have the official disclaimer where this is not medical advice. You need to see a doctor before you do anything. But this is just 2 dudes talking about TRT.
This is my personal experience. I'm not telling you what to do with your body. You need to talk to your doctor or our doctors.
This Canadian served in the Marines. Nice. What's up, Tyler? Semper Fi, brother. Hell yeah, man. I'm not a Marine, but I love it. I love my Marines, dude. Those guys are fucking wild warriors. Anastrozole?
Anastrozole, yeah. What about it?
Do you guys sell it?
Yes, we have anastrozole.
HPTRT does not sell medicine.
No.
I don't know the right verbiage, but
yeah.
But
our clinical team carries it.
Yes. Okay, cool. People talking in Canadian. Someone says fuck square. Yep.
Pretty much.
Will TRT help with vitamin D deficiency?
No. So vitamin D deficiency, some guys will have their testosterone levels are fine, but the doctor will not test their vitamin D. And then they finally go get their vitamin D checked, and all of the symptoms they were having that showed as low testosterone was actually a vitamin D deficiency. We've got injectable vitamin D, man.
Yeah, it helps with my P deficiency.
It does that.
I think that's a penis reference. Guy told me he started TRT and takes a shot once a week. Is once a week injection the norm? Hearing about guys getting pellets injected on their skin for long-term dose. What do you think about that method? I'll go first. The pellets are a giant waste of time, and they're actually can cause you a lot more medical issues than just injecting it. There's
infections and
yeah, I've heard horror stories. Go watch Iron Sights podcast on Antihero. We had the Iron Sights podcast on. He's a fitness guru, and he talked about horror stories when he did pellets. Because needles are vilified. Is once a week the norm? Yes, once a week is the norm. But the new norm, I believe, is starting to be twice a week. People are realizing why crash at the end of your week when you can just inject twice in the week and stay closer to constant levels.
I've been doing that for 5 years. I've been on testosterone for 15 years. For the last 5, I've been doing. Yeah, at 29 is when I found out that my levels were so low.
Jerry carried nunchucks. Fucking badass. He did. Chuck Loner Tyler farts in the bathtub and bites at the bubbles. I've got something for Chuck not this Wednesday, not tomorrow, but the following Wednesday. Make sure you watch the counterculture. We talk about your comment. But Chuck did give the old lady some prayers, so I appreciate it. Chuck, me and Chuck have a rivalry in the comments, but it's all in good fun. If you start to feel a crash sooner, you can split the dose up twice a week. Yeah.
Yep.
That's what we're talking about. I'm very interested in need Barney breakdown to get me started. Would love to start and be a supporter.
Give me a call.
Yeah, I mean it is very intimidating to get into. I remember I thought about it, rightfully so. I'm not trying to say you're and say like there's nothing wrong with that. But when you go to TRT, you want it to be something where you're like, I'm very confident because people will try to talk you out of it. And it's just human nature. It's still a little taboo, but you know, it's a lot to understand. And then once you understand the generalities of it, then you got to understand how it's going to affect you. And it, it can be scary. It's or not scary, but just intimidating. And so I fucking was on YouTubing. And Joe Rogan was the first one that I heard of talk about it. And I was like, oh, Joe Rogan's talking about it. That's something I can't do. And sure as shit is readily available for anybody.
Yeah. And that's the thing is, I was telling Tyler before the show that I was talking to somebody that kept calling it steroids. And I told them, if you keep calling it steroids, we're going to be off the phone because we don't offer steroids. As far as your Barney breakdown, here's what it is. Think of, I don't like TRT and as a word because we're not replacing one thing. We are a superstore for a supplementation. So we supplement what you're deficient in, what you have lost. So if at, let's say 25, your levels were at 1200 and now at 30, your levels are hovering around 300. Well, you need that gap that, bridged out. So that's where we step in. We don't do anything with trying to get you to Arnold Classic or anything like that, trying to make you look like Lee Priest. That's not happening. So if that's what you're looking for, we are not the folks for you. But if you're looking for a little bit of supplementation and you're trying to just feel better so that you can run around with your kids and keep your wife happy, that's about it.
And your nipples can come out and they look good.
Yeah, I noticed you flexing there, Tyler.
Jasmine Sanchez pussy. That's what he meant when he said it helped with my P deficiency. I don't know if it helps get you pussy, but maybe some guys that were struggling to get pussy now can get pussy because they got TRT.
They're still going to struggle with TRT.
Oh, great question. What gauge needles?
Go ahead. You go first.
Right now I'm running. I'm using a 18 gauge to extract, and I'm using.
Do not stick that in your body.
Yeah, 18 gauge will fucking hurt. I used to do because when you order from HPTRT, you are going to have to order your own syringes. It is what it is. We can give you. I mean, I went to Phil. You got to have a buddy, but he said, order this 100-pack, man. You want to do a bunch of injections. No pharmacy is going to be able to stock you with the amount of syringes you need. So you just kind of go on Amazon and get what you need. But I was extracting with 18 gauge and I was sticking with 21 gauge. Those three matter. It's inside. Do not stick yourself with an 18 gauge needle. No, you can fucking almost drink through that thing.
Yeah.
And I know Phil right now he does, let me guess, 31 gauge half-inch needles.
30 gauge half needles.
30. Okay.
Yep.
I just found that extracting with those high gauges, it doesn't come out.
No, don't try to do that. Still use the 18 gauge.
Yeah.
Get the ones with the lure clips, which is just the twist off, needles, the ones that you get from the pharmacy. Fill it with 18 gauge, switch it to the 30 gauge, and jab away.
You can't. The testosterone's too thick to extract with a high gauge needle. You need the low gauges to extract. You put the cap back on, you twist it off. Now you got a syringe full of testosterone, and you load on the little needle. And then there's different ways to do it. I know Phil injects into his, and I don't know, I know this because me and Phil talk about this all the time. He goes right into the muscle in the thigh. I do in my butt, where I got some muscle in my buttocks.
Well, I've got no ass, and I can't reach back there anymore after a fusion.
I want to not be able to reach back there because I'm so huge. Sorry, what gauge needles? Yeah, we talked about that. I get needles for the draw, and then I'm supposed to switch to a larger for the inject. No,
the other way around. Yes, it's a larger number, but it's a smaller gauge.
Yeah, dude.
18 gauge is like that big around. You stick that shit in your body. It's like the shit they give horses shots with. Yeah. Don't do that.
I use 25 gauge needle to draw and inject. I would not draw and inject with the same needle.
No.
I just think there's too much risk for infection. When you are injecting yourself, that injection site is at very high risk of anything, whether you're at the doctor's getting a shot, whether you're getting tattooed. That's why tattoo parlors have to abide by such strict health codes, is because anytime a needle crosses through your skin, you are now subject to a lot more infection than ever before. So
bloodborne, all kinds of stuff.
Yeah, I would not use the same to draw and extract. I mean, I've never heard of any stories happening, but I guess maybe that's the fear mongering that I've heard, is that you don't want to do that. Chuck Loner, all love, Tyler, still a fan, always will be. Appreciate your insight. Chuck actually messaged me and told me that he's a homo and likes dudes. So
nice.
I don't know.
Like see homo naked, huh?
Crap autocorrect. To the guy on the right, what is it like going through life with a micro weenie?
It's all right.
Couldn't get it up, man. Sometimes they have conversations between themselves. Yo, it's Brandon from Philly. What up, Brandon? Met you at FOP Lodge back when you were in Philly. Hope all is well. Yeah, dude, I remember. Yeah, we went to we watched some. It was weird. Me and my wife, him, and Nick from Good Cop Bad Cop went, and there was a bunch of drunk women dancing at the FOP. It was a dope FOP though. Too many dudes turning to tests before they even try fixing their lifestyle and diet to fix their shit naturally before turning to drugs. I love it. I love it. I love it. You cannot have a live stream without somebody. I'm surprised Steve isn't in here. There's always somebody that has nothing going on. Again, I love the counter argument because it gives us something to go off of. And that's an opinion, but I mean, testosterone is not a drug. I mean, I guess it's a pharmaceutical drug, but it's not like a steroid. And again, there's one of two things, Tyrannocysis, whatever your name is. One of two things. You're either high natural testosterone and good for you, man. And if that's the case, you do not need it, right? But that doesn't make you an advocate for people who don't have high testosterone. Second, you choose to live with low testosterone, and that's okay too. But that's like me living in fucking Canada and complaining about it. Like,
that's why nobody will remember your name.
Yeah, I mean, like, I don't. Again, I appreciate the the criticism, and he was somewhat polite with that one. I think he was.
I kind of agree to an extent. You are right in the respect that a lot of people will immediately turn to, like, for the weight loss people, they'll turn to a GLP-1 not knowing what is in that shit, and they will lose 30 pounds in 30 days, come off of it, and then all of a sudden gain all the weight right back because they didn't change their lifestyle, they didn't change their eating habits, they didn't change their mindset. They just lost a bunch of weight to look good for some shitty event, and now they weigh 400 pounds 6 weeks later. So I kind of agree with you to an extent. But like Tyler said, if dudes are trying to, you don't know what most of these guys are going through as far as like their low testosterone. I was at 268 and my free testosterone was 17. The low number of that is 50. So I think I kind of went through the ringer before I finally figured out what I needed to do.
I'm going to jump a couple of them just because Tyrannocysis is bad. I'm not saying it isn't good for you to do. Need a lot of guys get the natural. Okay. Yes, this is true. I remember one time I was taking it. Me and my wife we changed up our workouts. And I did legs twice a week for this particular workout. For 6 months, I did legs twice a week. And I went and got my blood work done, like always. And at the time, I wasn't with HPTRT. I was with another doctor's office. And she goes, "Hey, I got to ask you something." She's like, "You take anything else?" And I go, "No." She goes, "Okay." She's like, "You're at 12, almost 1300." And she's like, "What have you done differently?" I'm like, "Oh, shit. I started doing legs twice a week." Legs, although I did not want to believe it, doing legs, especially compound exercises, is that what it's called?
Compound
Will
movements.
fucking jack your testosterone up. So it is true, and he has somewhat of a good point. Is that there
But
are
then
ways?
with that, you would literally have to do legs 3 to 4 times a week to keep your levels up that high.
Yeah, yep. And so again, is it possible? Yeah. Is it sustainable? No. In my
And
opinion,
after a certain age, there's no naturally bringing your testosterone back. So your endocrine system is different than your pituitary gland. Your pituitary gland, you can dose growth hormone and abuse the shit out of it. And because it's so elastic, because it has so many things going on inside of it that it controls, that you have a better chance of that coming back and actually working properly than if you fuck your testosterone levels up and get it so high that your system shuts off. That's never coming back. And
Yeah.
once you start losing it, it never comes back.
Big country. I have no idea what draw is. How do you do it? Draw is when you draw it from the extract. Draw it from. You get a vial of TRT that has the little rubber top that seals, so you can inject it multiple times, and then once you pull the needle out, it self seals. And you inject. Here's the way. I mean, real quick, if you guys are taking TRT, I figured this out a couple years ago. Um, ex, Extract the syringe completely, open it up, stick the needle in the TRT upside down like this, push air into the TRT, position the needle, and let it naturally pull itself out.
Yep.
With its own suction. And then it's way easier than having to pull it, but little tips and tricks.
You put so much air in there that you can't compress liquid. So liquid will come out because you can't compress it.
Really good to know about the drawing and injecting the same needle. Thanks. Sorry for the larger needle. I meant larger diameter, hence lower gauge. Yep, we got you. Fucking Chuck says only on deployments, Tyler. What happens downrange stays downrange.
Not all the time. Herpes comes back.
My doctor, Turd Ferguson, my doctor gave me 124 gauge for both draw and injection. Luckily, I'm marrying a nurse. Love the new podcast. Thanks, man. I appreciate
you need to go slap that doctor in the throat.
Yeah, sometimes doctors are fucking retarded.
That would hurt so bad.
If I want to have kids, should I avoid TRT? My opinion is if it's something that you're trying to do, like you and the wife, hey, we're gonna go and try and have a baby right now. If you think or you have any reason to believe that you are going to run into fertility issues, don't even start it, because a doctor is going to tell you to get off it. If you've never had any fertility issues and you're good to go, it won't affect anything. It shouldn't. But again, if you're like, hey, I'm blowing lows and for 6 months nothing's happening, you're going to start your process of figuring out what's going on. The first thing the doctor does is take you off TRT. So, but I would say if you're 27 and you're like, oh, I'm planning on having kids, but I don't want to have one right now, and I have no reason to believe I would have any is it paternity issues is the word I'm looking for?
No, that is not what you're looking for. Fertility issues.
Fertility.
Paternity is like what you
everybody knows. I don't know words. Make shit up.
With that, Brandon, if you're actively trying to have a kid, I would definitely go down, get tested as far as your sperm samples and stuff like that. See where you are right now. And if you decide that testosterone is what you want to go do, I would definitely talk to the wife about it, girlfriend, whatever you've got. And if she's on board with it, then I would definitely go get checked every month or every other month to make sure that your numbers are still up as far as your sperm samples go. Because the last thing you want to do is get on a bunch of gear and all of a sudden you can't get your wife pregnant or whatever. And then you're the reason why it can't happen for another 6 or 8 months because you have to come off this shit and it has to come out of your body and everything else. So
your test fluctuates naturally throughout the day too, so it can get mixed. Yeah, especially there's things that bring your testosterone down. One of them is alcohol. Alcohol will you drink
smoking, alcohol, stress, cortisol, adrenaline dumps.
A lot of that stuff you can't help.
Yep.
But a lot of that stuff you can
mitigate.
And testosterone replacement therapy helps. That's why when you're a cop, right? If you're right along with a cop, right? And he hits the fucking gas and you're doing 100 with the lights on, your fucking your adrenaline and cortisol levels are through the fucking roof right now. But what happens is when you're done, they come back down to a normal level. Well, a first responder or somebody that's had a lot of high stress incidents, like somebody that deployed overseas, their shit, like a year-long deployment, their shit stays up for whether it be a year straight or 12-hour shifts every other day. Your shit is staying up. So now your cortisol levels are always up. Your body's like, fuck it, we're staying here. We're never coming back down. And TRT can help with that.
Yeah.
Chuck Loner says, I remember leg workout, stay the mind about how it boosts. Yeah. I love that name. I'll take rapist for the rapist for 200. How true is that head injuries and other injuries can decrease your test while operating high stress work environments, military alone? I've never heard of that. Have you?
So it fucks with your pituitary gland. When you have guys that have operator syndrome, like, Brent and DJ and all these guys that did a bunch of breaching and even just going into the shoot house, those little, I would say
mini concussions. Yeah.
Mini concussions, micro concussions. Because it doesn't seem like it's that bad because you're just shooting a gun inside of a building, but it's that pressure has to go somewhere and it's going into you.
A lot of SWAT teams are moving to suppressors for that.
They should go to the unit solutions guns. I know they're not the real thing, but they're about as close as you can get without having the concussions. But yeah, so I have a buddy that does other peptides. You can still buy them. They're not illegal. But he does a lot of stuff with guys that have brain trauma and stuff like that. So if you're interested, get a hold of me. We'll connect you with him.
I think being around a bunch of violent, crazy dudes boosts your test crazy too because of how do prisoners get so jacked with a shit diet. I mean, here's the thing. How do women sync up? It's something that we can't explain. So could it be your body's natural reaction to surviving in a prison situation? Maybe. I don't know. I can't say no. I like the theory. Don't go to prison though. Just get TRT.
Yeah.
Good information on the draw. Fill the syringe with air, push it in, and draw. Don't forget the point. The syringe up. Yep. Fun fact. You are also could be at risk of squirting yourself in the eye.
Yes, you can.
I've done that.
And it hurts.
It's horrifying. And you're like, I'm going to go blind. It's okay. And I say this, bro. You guys are laughing right now because I'm talking about it will happen to you. It'll go in your eye and it won't hurt at first. And you're like, fuck, there's testosterone in my eye. And I'm talking like a little bit goes out the bottle because when you're drawing, there's so much, it's still sucking. So what you have to do is bring it down and then pull the needle out. And it will go like that. Barely notice it. It won't get anywhere. You won't even know where it went. But if you have it at eye level right here and you fucking, it squirts in your eye and one fucking tiny little fucking speck of a drop burns for like 10 minutes.
You got to keep it in your workspace.
Don't keep it out of your workspace. But fun fact for when you guys go to draw, it will happen if you're
going to do it at least once. So prepare.
Like 3 times. My wife was like, how the fuck did you get testosterone in your eye?
Funny story. There I was.
Really appreciate the information. Very helpful in making my decision and timetable. Yeah, bro. By the way, guys, use promo code. Does Counterculture have a promo code?
Yeah.
What is it? CC20?
I think it's just CC. Try CC and CC20, whichever one.
You save 20% every month. So go start it now. Because here's the thing, you could always start it, and if you don't like it, cancel. But the process takes a minute. So you got to sign up. You got to get blood drawn. You got to see a doctor. You got to get your stuff in the mail. Like that could take what, up to a month?
We're trying to streamline that process, but yes, it can take up to a month. And if you guys are going to get your blood work done, make sure you go get it done immediately. We've had a few guys that got mad at us because they didn't go get their blood work done for 3 weeks, and they're 2 weeks into waiting.
Yeah, and
we try to get it done as quick as possible.
No, it's not HPTRT. It's not Human Performance. It's the pharmacies and the medical side of it. They will not send you your stuff until you get your blood work back. And when you talk to a doctor, they need to be able to see your blood work. So you can't be like, book your doctor's appointment and then go, oh, I haven't got my blood work done, because the doctor's going to go, cool, I love talking to you, bud, but we have nothing to talk about.
It's CC20, Tyler.
CC20. All right, so go in there, CC20, join us, and we'll it'll be you'll have us every fucking Tuesday it will be Phil. I'm gonna dump this on Phil, but I will always be here to jump in. Podcasting 4 nights a week is already tough enough, but
a fun story for the next 3 weeks, starting next week, I'm gonna be in a van doing this because that's the only place this is gonna have internet for me. So
you don't have internet at your house?
No, we're going on a vacation, so I still have to work.
Okay. You gonna do this though every Tuesday?
Yes, sir.
All right. Big country buyer. Sorry, I don't know the process. Why would you use 2 needles? You draw out the bottle with one size needle and inject with another. I'm lost. TRT for dummies. Yes, that's it. I mean, I'm not even trying to be a smart ass. Like, you nailed it.
Yeah.
You draw out, because when you draw, it's like, think of a straw when you're drinking, right? If you have a tiny, tiny, tiny little straw and you're sucking, I'm gonna get bashed for fucking people are gonna be like,
come on, Tyler, you're writing the jokes, man.
But think of a tiny, tiny little straw. Like, you can't get any drink out of it. When you get one of those big ass straws, it's the same thing when you're drawing. So if you have a tiny, tiny little needle in there, it could take 10 minutes to draw out a milliliter.
Yeah.
1 mil. So the bigger needle you get, the faster it draws out. But then you don't want to stick that big ass needle in your fucking skin because it'll hurt like shit. So
that will be if you stick that 18 gauge in your body, that will be your first and last testosterone injection. Yeah. You will never want to fucking do that again.
Yeah, that makes sense. I guess high stress jobs do need some extra TRT help. Yeah, I mean, and like I said, Trianus, I don't know how to say your name. I mean, I'm assuming you have gotten your levels checked, but I also love it when somebody has an opinion and they get informed of another side of the opinion, and then they go look for themselves and they realize, I may have been wrong about my mindset. And so, go get your tests done. See if it's.
But he was right about the whole not changing your lifestyle and your eating habits. That's 100% on track.
And I was thinking just TRT when he said that, but he's absolutely right as far as the non-steroid pharmaceutical drugs that you can get to help yourself. They're there to give you the opportunity to lose weight, the opportunity to be optimal, the opportunity to get a little bit of muscle mass, the opportunity to do that. TRT gives that to you. That's just on the lifting, building muscle side. TRT does a lot for you. I know dudes that don't work out that are on TRT because of what it does for them mentally and their endocrinological system.
Yep.
Did you like
that? Wow, that's a big word, Tyler.
I made up for it.
And you got it right out.
Question for the future audience, guy on the right. If we get his name's Phil. You got to put Phil. Why isn't your cool little name thing in there? Oh, well. We used to, it puts it up there when we don't have, okay, yeah. He goes by Phillip. Question for the future audience, guys, guy on the right. If we get blood work and results, do you review the work or should I go to a PCP for recommendation?
No, man. I mean, you can do whatever you want to do, but our docs will review your labs. They will go through them and get with you and say, hey, this is what we recommend. How do you want to proceed? And nothing goes forward until you say, yeah, this is what I want to do. If you have a little bit of knowledge of testosterone or whatever else it is that you want to be on, you can always tell the doc exactly what it is that you want, how you want to, what you're looking for. It always helps to have an end state. If you know what your end state is and your goals, that helps them a ton.
Right on. Our last comment of the night, bringing us to the 10 o'clock hour, is 18 gauge is nuts, 20 to 22 is max. We might as well use a harpoon. We're not talking 18 to fucking inject, dude.
No.
that is nuts. Do not inject yourself with an 8. I don't need to be a doctor to tell you that. Take that advice from us. Do not inject with an 18 gauge needle.
If you want to see what that looks like, go to a farm and watch them inject a fucking cow.
Yeah.
That's what they use to, like, when cows get those pustules on the side of their necks and shit, they stick an 18 gauge needle in that to drain it out.
Ooh, that's an 18 gauge needle?
Yeah, don't stick that shit in your body. That is a horrible idea.
Hurt like a motherfucker.
If you do, record it so we can all see it.
That's it for the night, guys. Again, we're gonna do this every week, so we don't want to blow our entire load the first episode because we could sit here and talk for fucking hours about this. And it, but we're doing it every week to kind of get different perspectives on it, get experience. If you had a bad experience, you know, Phil's going. We're gonna set up a way for like I said, regular guys like me, like Phil, like y'all, like, you know, to our experiences with TRT. Then we're gonna have, like I said, the heavy hitters, the guys that look like fucking Terminators on here, you know, and be like, hey, what do you take? What's your stack? You know, and have them tell us. But I think this will be a really fun installment on the Counterculture Network. And every Tuesday, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, we'll be here answering y'all's questions and engaging in the chats. I probably will come back every Tuesday just because I love it. I love the conversation. So, you got anything else, Phil?
I think that's it, man. If you guys have any questions, email us, give us a call. Check out the website at the very bottom. It has all of our contact information. And then Tyler will add the other email address that we have for just general questions. And for you guys that kept asking about invoices, this week
it is done. We're moving on. Big Country, thanks for the info. We'll just answer a couple more. D, do you accept blood work from the VA? Can guys send the invoices to the VA? Guys send the invoice to the VA. I don't know about getting the invoice to pay.
No.
Don't rely on the VA to do shit. If you've already done it at the VA, that's fine. But don't, if you're like, oh, if you're trying to save a couple bucks here and there, I mean, if you don't got the money, you don't got the money. And I get it. A lot of people rely on the VA, but I do not rely on the government at all for anything. And it's going to take forever. And I believe the VA is corrupt anyways. So
I was with the VA with my testosterone. They fucked my levels up. So
yeah. So if you can get it any other way, get it. But if you already have it done from the VA, you can upload that as long as your testosterone's in it. Good night, Tyler, and the guy on the right. And Tyler has day shift in a few hours. No. That's a topic for another day. Good night, fellas. And
good night, Brandon. Good
one
luck.
last comment. If those who are looking into TRT do not use the cream, I have a horrible cream. Man up and use a needle. Stay safe. Yes, that is absolutely correct. Your cream can rub off on your kids. You can't hug anybody. It's a nightmare. Don't use it. Don't be a pussy. Just like you said, man up and fucking inject yourself.
Yep. You're going to get the best absorption with an injection.
All right. That's it for the night, guys.
Good night, fellas.
Yeah. Thank you, guys. And we'll see you on Tuesday. Cool outro music that will cue in the future. I'm going to hit end stream.